And welcome, as always, to another episode of Stack Your Points. I'm Matt from the Matt Clausen YouTube channel, joining you from Credit Card Hoff today because the Northeast is just ridiculous. Like, I don't even know if there is a Northeast anymore. Like, I just look outside, it's just all white. We're joined this week by Craig and Lonnie. Craig, how you doing? How you doing today?
Cold, but in a better place. Just ended a 19-day stay at the world's fanciest Fairfield Inn, so it feels good to be back home, far closer to titanium status than I thought I would be before January has even ended.
That is rough. At least you're titanium. Wait, you're ambassador for the rolling into this year, right? Or you?
Yeah, but I won't be keeping that. I won't be able to keep that.
Depending on how much spend you did to get started.
Sir, those rooms were $96 a night. I'm here for the free breakfast and the cheap room, but very clean. So, I'm here for that. That's the most important part.
Here for a good time, not for a long time, except it was far longer than you wanted. All right. We're also joined by Lonnie from the Call Me Lonnie YouTube channel. Lonnie, not our first time speaking today. How are you doing today?
You know what? It was also cold. I had to put on a light jacket to go outside. So... No snow over here. But I guess I'm doing good. But I'm not going to rub it in because I know how bad it is because I was Midwest born. So all the good juju, I'm sending it out to you guys.
15 inches. And it was negative 35 with a wind chill this morning.
I don't think the high gets above 15 this week where I live. And then I don't even want to know what the wind chill factor is going to be.
You know what's crazy?
They said,
still saw somebody in shorts at the grocery store today. I was like, you know what? That's dedication. That is a conscious choice.
That right there is some WPS.
If the pants are in the washer, you didn't want to go outside with those wet, so I would have wore shorts too.
I have beautiful dancer's legs, and I think they want to remain covered. At least in this wind. But that's just me. Maybe I'm soft.
That is just pure, uncut WPS right there. Tell me I'm wrong, Craig.
You said it.
I'm not touching that one, sir.
All right. Early entrant for a title. As we are wont to do, let's start with our questions. We've got our first question coming from Thick Boy, who asks, so is anyone else feeling like 1.5 is the new 2X? I'm getting a feeling like the double cash will eventually go away since now Citi has a 1.5X earning card with the Citi Strata Elite. On the personal side for Amex, the only card that can earn more than 1X base is the Everyday Preferred when you put 30 transactions through it, which is no longer publicly available. Chase refuses to give us a 2X card, and Capital One requires at least a $95 annual fee to get a 2X multiplier. Also, this was written before the 2.0 from Bilt became a thing. With the anticipated Bilt refresh, it's rumored to give a 1.5X base. Not quite. There's a 2X. The Palladium's 2X. The other cards are 1X bases, not counting Bilt neighborhood multipliers, which they didn't advertise as well as they should have. With all of the devaluations we had in 2025, I'm feeling like 2026 1.5 is going to become the new norm, along with less than favorable transfer rate ratios. I'll throw to you first for this one.
So I'm going to go ahead and kick it off and say, no, I don't agree that 1.5 is a new 2X. Almost as to the point of what you said. There ain't a lot of 2X out there, so it can't really be the new 2X when 2X is the niche itself. The other thing is, yeah, we can talk about devaluations all the time, but if everybody went to 1.5 or everybody went to 2X, we're not going to talk about the inflation. Like, your points are going to be worth even less because the banks want to make a profit. They're not giving out this money for free, which is why stacking is so important, if you will, is, get those points from all these other different sources all at once on a single transaction to help avoid the banks being like, yeah, we just gave out 18 points per dollar on to Craig. If we do that just by swiping your card, I'm being facetious. If you just got 2X straight up and down from swiping your card, not doing anything extra, and stacking still out there, oh yeah, we're going to see devaluations left and right to the point where we all going to just, you know what, this game ain't even worth it no more. So no, I don't necessarily agree with that.
That's completely fair. And I think if we were going to see more movement there, we would have seen the MX Platinum refresh go to 1.5. We would have seen the Chase Sapphire Reserve go to 1.5 as do everything all on this card and not think about using any other card, which is anathema for Chase. And MX will just do whatever MX does. But yeah. Craig, your thoughts here?
I don't necessarily think that it's the new 2X. I think that there has been some pruning and some right sizing by the banks, right? I think oftentimes, and let's be real, if you look at 2000 all the way, the year 2000 all the way up until now, a lot of our credit card, wow, that was a weird way to say, credit card points and miles cycles really do mirror the inflation rates. They mirror the markets. I think there's a lot of kind of uncertainty in the market right now. And so I think banks are also trying to prepare the riskiest assets that they have to mitigate some of that. I think less so than, and to Lonnie's point, less so than seeing only 1.5x as the base. I think we'll just see more non-favorable transfer rates. We're already seeing that with Emirates in some cases. I think very rarely will we continue to see 1-to-1 for many of our favorite programs. And so in that case, does 1.5 really affect the value? Yes. But do I think it becomes the norm? No. I think 1.5 is the catch-all thing for people wanting to minimize credit card clutter, because you can just use one card. I'll be completely forthcoming. If I was not in the points and miles community, I would probably just use a hotel credit card and a gold card and just call it a day, right? I could see myself, and probably not even the gold card, I could see myself saying, hey, the IHG card just works as my only card, or a Bonvoy card works as my only card, or an Amex probably Surpass. So I think it's just trying to simplify people's wallets and minimize their brain power.
Yeah, I don't think we're necessarily going to see like the fall of the 2% cards. There's still the double cash. If Citi chooses to get rid of the double cash, that's on Citi. Wells Fargo still has the active cash. US Bank still has Smartly, which is a base 2x card. PNC launched a 2x card last year. I'm sure you can find plenty of other cards that have 2% base or 2x base earnings. The Fairwinds credit card from Fairwinds Federal Credit Union, that has 2x base, but I don't think you can get a pure 1 cent per point cash back out of it. Amergy Bank and like other banks, Zion's Bank, that conglomerate has a card that is like the old Sapphire Reserve in terms of like dining, travel at 3x and a 2x catch-all for $4.50, and you can cash that out at 1 cent per point. So I don't think that the 2x base is necessarily going away, but I do think that the bigger banks, if they so choose to mitigate their potential losses, because you got to buy those AA points since you finally landed the plane after 38 years, or you're Chase and you never had a 2x card to begin with, or you're American Express and you don't necessarily have to do 2x because you still got plenty of spend through your cards. I think this is only a problem for a set number of banks. Plenty of other banks are going to offer 2% cards. It's just a question of, are you going to go out and look for them? As I mentioned, the active cash, on the business side, the Signify Cash from Wells Fargo is an unlimited 2x business card. Capital One has plenty of 2x, has a couple of 2x business cards as well. Spark, one of the Sparks cards is at least 2x or 2%. So they've got those. I'm struggling to try and think of some other cards. I think there's a TD Bank card that comes with 2%. I'm just going deep into cards that are not points and miles related, but I don't necessarily think that 1.5 is going to is the new 2x, but I do think that you could see some issuers decide to raise their floor from 1 to 1.5 in order to avoid 2x if they feel the need. But that would not necessarily be because 2x is unprofitable. I think it would be more to change the value prop of the card in question so that you use that card more, or you make that card your primary card. One of the things that like Lonnie and myself and Craig have been harping on, and RJ, like simplicity. If you keep it simple and you have a card that gives you 1.5 base, does everything else for your travel needs, why wouldn't you just pull that card out and just use that, have that be the everything card? Like you could have multipliers, a couple different multipliers, and a 1.5 base. Like you would never pull out your Freedom Unlimited if your Sapphire Reserve could do it all. You'd never pull out your Freedom Flex if your Sapphire Reserve does just enough. You'd never pull out your, you'd never get a green card if the platinum card, it was 5x in the travel portal, 5x with flights booked direct, and 1.5 base. Like you wouldn't look at your green card anymore. Because is it worth paying whatever the green card's annual fee will end up being to get a 1.5 more on dining, which you'd pair the gold and the platinum anyway. So do you want to pay another 195, 225 potentially for the green card for dining, or like 1.5 on transit when you're paying 895 for a platinum that had 1.5? Theoretically, I don't think you would. So there's an opportunity cost with using your other cards. I think if the banks wanted to centralize your spend, getting you on the big ticket annual fee card with a higher floor, at least 1.5, is probably the easier way to do that and encourage spend than try to nitpick between 1.5 and 2. But there's still plenty of 2x cards out there.
Also, before we move on, I just wanted to say the Fairwinds Visa gives you 1.5 for a point when redeemed for travel and 1 cent on everything else. So technically, that's a 3x catch-all for travel.
Ooh.
Yeah. Sorry, just putting that out there.
Nope, 7.5 as travel related. No, whatever its 5% categories are.
Flights and
travel,
theme parks.
Flights and theme parks. There you go. Lonnie.
One of the things that you had brought up, Matt, that I also think is important, especially when you think of the difference between using a CSR that earns everything else category 1x and a Freedom Unlimited, which is flat rate 1.5, is also being strategic with the purchases that you make, i.e. to get something, you got to lose something. Where if I purchase something with my CSR, I probably have some type of return protection, purchase protection, or extended warranty that does not come on the Freedom Unlimited. So yeah, I'm going to get that extra 0.5 right there. But wait a sec, I bought a limit. I bought a defaulted product that I can no longer return. I'm outside of the whatever 14-day, 30-day, whatever return window. And I'm just stuck. Hey, Chase, I got a problem with this. And they're like, okay. You can try to go back to the store, see if they'll help you out, but we're not going to do it. Whereas with a CSR, I might not get that extra 0.5 that is, but at least I know I'm covered. And in some cases, it comes down to, me making a purchase between those two cards. But other times, I don't know if Thick Boy, you probably do, but if I'm really doubtful, everything goes on the platinum at that point.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Changing your card out. But
what? I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Change your cards out.
I have no idea what you're speaking about.
When it comes to, I don't know what's going on behind me between my dog and my wife right now. But when it comes to Amex taking care of your purchases, Platinum, Aspire, or Brilliant, and you are taken care of. I would actually add the gold in there too, depending on what it is. But you really want to be safe, straight Platinum. Because you're probably getting 1x anyway. So get 1x on the gold, get 1x on the platinum.
Yep. Yeah, they may have to change some of the value prop to bump it to 1.5. And if that's the case and it was purchase protection, that probably is not worth it. Yeah. No, not probably.
And because RJ's not here, I'm going to be the one to beat that drum to say, when you use business cards, you give up a lot of those consumer protections. And so while it might not appear on your credit report, if you pay your bill. You, just like Lonnie just mentioned, they're not looking to cover your random monitor. Or for me, I just bought a new Asus monitor, OLED. It's awesome. That goes out, I'm just SOL if I put that on my Blue Business Plus. So something to think about.
Oh, for sure. So thanks, Thick Boy. Oh, as for less than favorable transfer ratios, we've already seen that start to be the case at the tail end of 2025. We had Emirates push and bully a couple banks into accepting 4-3 transfer rates. Chase very politely told them to pound sand, which was nice. And then we saw go to American Express and push through a transfer ratio change from 1-1 to 4-3. I don't know if this is a portend of something to look at for the rest of the year with American Express specifically. Will they start degrading their transfer ratios over time and slowly boil the frog? We'll see. But we'll have to also pay attention to Cathay's other transfer partners to see if that becomes a thing. And could Chase also start losing other transfer partners that may require the 4-3 rate? And if Chase is going to keep drawing that line in the sand.
Also, I'm going to say this, and nobody's going to agree with this, but you can get such an abundance of MR points in such a rapid fashion. I'm not surprised that many banks or many transfer partners are saying, hey, you have to calm it down. I had 0 MR points at, I want to say, June 1st of last year. I'm currently sitting on like 600,000 MR points right now. So it's just it's so easy to get MR points that, like, I'm not surprised here that we might see some unfavorable or degradation in the transfer partner ratios.
One word there, Rakuten. Another 3 words there, no lifetime language. But the less than favorable transfer ratios is definitely going to be a thing we'll be monitoring throughout the year. Don't know how many we'll see get changed, but I got my eye on American Express on this one. So thanks, Thick Boy. Our next question comes from RP2048, who brings up Rove, which, disclaimer, I moderate a Facebook group for Rove. They give me a monthly stipend of points. Nearly lost that stipend this month, but I think I've earned it back. Anyway, Rove has mentioned that they don't want to start a credit card, but do you think they might do rewards? RP is calling it a credit card that automatically have their in-store offers, etc. It doesn't have to be overpowered, but enough to be interesting at least. This coming from RP2048. Lonnie, I assume that you'll probably pass on this one, right? You've not really been paying attention to Rove.
It's no, the question is not necessarily about Rove, but what I'll say is starting a credit card is not easy.
No,
it's not as easy as just, hey, Amex, hey, Chase, I want to have a brand and I want to have a credit card. And they're like, okay, it's not Netflix. It's not selling a Netflix series. It's not that easy. Even though I might not know a lot about Rove or be in that particular ecosystem like you are, Matt, I won't say that it's far-fetched, but I'll say it's far-fetched to see it happen soon. I think they need to get the rewards part first and knock that out, and then they can worry about, do we want to add a card? Even when you think of some of your department stores like an Old Navy or Macy's, yeah, they got cards, but it's not like your Macy's card goes through Chase. Like, it's not that simple, even though they do have a reward system. So in short, I think Rove will probably want to corner the market on the reward side first, the same way that Rakuten did. Rakuten ain't new. Rakuten has been around for a while. Actually, Rakuten's not even the first name of the company. It had a different, and it took them forever to find their niche where they're at to get to even where they're at right now. And they're still not done in the reward side. And yet they just launched a card that's funneled through Amex, but it's not Amex as the issuing bank. They didn't go directly to Amex. You catch what I'm throwing. I would say it's late, but it's definitely more late for y'all over there. So I can't really use that. Can't also use kids because both y'all got kids too. So I'm just tired. Anyway, it's tired when you say tired and not tired. Anyway, no, I don't. Rove could create a credit card, create a rewards credit card if they wanted to. I think once they get their feet waist deep in the rewards game, they'll probably realize, hey, I don't want a credit card. You got to remember, there are a lot of different outside of the banks, but even just to use Rakuten, for example, they're like, look, Rakuten tried this and what happened? Look at all the crypto cards out there. They went out and tried this and look what happened. They ended up losing more than they were winning, or it didn't pull in the numbers that they expected. How about we just go ahead and save our $20 and just stick with what works? So, yes, it could, but if it does, I don't see it happening for a very long time.
Craig, any thoughts here?
I think to Lonnie's point, I don't think it's necessary nor wise. I think Rove is in a really fantastic spot, right? I think where Bilt has seen so much trouble is that they are trying to be the issuer, the processor, the everything. I think it is okay to have a niche and stick to your niche. There's something to be said about doing one thing extremely well. And Rove, whether or not you decide to use or not use Rove, I think does the travel portal and shopping portal very well. Also, I've not been in nearly as involved with Rove as you have, but I again think that it's just an absolutely wonderful option to have in addition to Rakuten, in addition to the airline portals. No, I don't personally see a need and to Lonnie's point, the difficulty there to launch a new product and bring it to market. There's just a lot of R&D and a lot of money that goes into that, and points will become more expensive. I just don't see the necessity, so I'm going to say no.
No, I definitely agree. One of the things, they just recently added Lufthansa and their Miles and More program as a transfer partner. They're
which is huge, just for anybody that uses Star Lines.
Yeah, they're the only rewards program that has Lufthansa. Lufthansa, due to a particular German law, it was determined that like buying points from Lufthansa as like a credit, like the whole network is the issuing bank buys the points in bulk and will give you the points from your rewards, but they have to make that point purchase. By the institutions, like the banks buying points, runs afoul of that law, but a rewards program buying the points or Lufthansa selling the points directly to customers, and usually in terms of like bundles with other things, because when Miles and More has a miles sale, which they started a couple of years ago, they'll also include things like Avis preferred status, or like a 30% discount on priority pass, or something else that they include, so that you're not just getting the miles, but you're getting other benefits as well. If Rove were to do a credit card, they would lose that partnership immediately. So Lufthansa, pretty freaking valuable. So I don't think that they want to lose Lufthansa anytime soon. Now, if that agreement runs its course and in 5 years they don't renew or whatever happens, like that's 5 years down the road, they can reevaluate whether or not they're at a point where they want to do a credit card. They're going to be launching an app at some point in the hopefully not in the not too distant future. They were hoping to get it out toward the end of last year. We'll see, but they're also going to do in-store offers. So like you can add cards into your Rove wallet, and it'll basically be like the Bilt wallet, but they'll add in-store offers as well. So the in-store offers should be going live at some point in the near future. They're also going to have their own dining program that will be a bit different than Rewards Network. So says the CEO of the company. So says their head of marketing. So it's not going to be the same like Rewards Network, like 57 restaurants all the same, that you can't get like all of your airline points or all of your hotel points through. They're going to do something different. What that looks like, I don't know, but I'm excited to hear that they're doing something different. So they will have something where you'll automatically be able to attach on in-store offers. So I could use my Active Cash, or I could use my Freedom Unlimited, or I could use the Attune, go into DSW or Nike or wherever, and if there's an in-store offer, use my card, get my regular reward points on my card, my specific card, and get those in-store offer points, and those should work fairly automatically. We'll see how it works out. As it is right now, their shopping portal, the pending can take a while, which is a pain, but I do like that everything has started coding. They've now added like this new part of the website where it shows like what your shopping trips have been, what store you clicked over to, and it's registering all the clicks now, despite my many pop-up blockers and all of that. So that's cool. And it's registering that I clicked over. I didn't buy anything. And when I've bought something, it has the points pending as soon as the purchase is completed. Then it's just verifying the purchase. That can take 30 to 100 days, which is annoying, but Rakuten takes 3 months to pay out as well. So you can't really be too greedy on that one. And they are working to cut that down, but they're a new program. That's what it is.
Have them call United's shopping portal team, because your miles show up quick in the United shopping portal.
Carissa, if you happen to be listening.
I don't think anyone can argue with me that you make a purchase. By the time you look at your email, hey, you made a purchase.
Yep.
Then like maybe 3 days later, they're in your account to use.
I got to get back onto MPX to start setting up like the gift card through MPX and then go back into Rove and do that.
That's instant. Yeah, that one goes through.
I was about to say MPX is instantaneous because that's how we use our AMC gift cards.
Yep.
Which too bad you don't have the Attune AMC 4X.
Saver or whatever card is on file. I don't care.
That's fine. No, so they don't want to start a credit card. One, it's a massive amount. It's a massive undertaking to do a credit card. Like we're watching Bilt go into their last chance at a credit card. And say what we will about the launch of Bilt 2.0. This credit card, this right here that they're launching, this is their last opportunity to do a credit card. Because they don't get this, like, if this doesn't work, they'll be out of credit cards for a while. Because I don't think you get a fourth issuer after, 5 years? So we're not going to see Rove pair up with anybody. They'd lose Lufthansa, which is a big draw, or should be a bigger draw for them. And they're working on what they're working on. And I think once those things get through, once they like get their feet wet, as Lonnie said, or like they get the program to work and the program is profitable and the program builds up loyalty and they're able to shorten the timelines on things where you don't have to wait 100 plus days for gift cards to clear because fraud concerns and brand new company and they don't know that the company is going to last more than a year. I think once they get their feet wet there and they get everything rolling there, then maybe 5, 10, 15 years down the line, they could look at a credit card because the Ebates card fizzled out relatively quickly after Rakuten bought Ebates. And that card was like briefly a Rakuten card. It went away for a while. And then they just reintroduced the card with Imprint American Express. Yeah, we can see why they won't do it. But they're going to do something with like automatic in-store offers, some sort of like wallet configuration. I'm very intrigued by what's coming. I wish I was like a test flight user for the iOS version of the Rove Miles app, but they say it's being tested and we just have to wait, which is annoying because I want it now. Give it to me now. I just hope it's just like instantaneous and works as well as the Rakuten app. Anyway.
Which took time.
It did.
Took a lot of time.
Sure did.
Just to tell you, people at Rove, make a Chrome extension. Like,
oh, they've got the Chrome extension.
Oh, I haven't. I don't use them, so I never looked for it. But I'll use the Chrome extension. I want Chase Shopping Portal to have a Chrome extension because I do not want to sign into my account and click through 7 different menus to get to the shopping portal. But when you get there, it's worth it. But man, it's a slog to get there.
I need a separate Chase Sapphire app. The Chase Sapphire app needs to be home to the travel portal and the Chase Sapphire specific travel portal. So I'm talking like the edit. I'm talking like you have to have a Sapphire Reserve or a Sapphire Preferred or a mystical possible third Sapphire card that may or may not exist by the end of this year or the end of next year. It's got to do the edit. It's got to do all the cool things in there. It's got to give me my 8X on my Sapphire Reserve, and it's got to have the shopping attached to it. Like, I need a separate app. Chase, stop dicking around. Give me that app. Y'all could vibe code it in a weekend. Anyway, thanks, RP. Our next question comes from fellow co-host Tariq, who asks, now that we have official info on the Bilt 2.0 cards, does the Bilt Obsidian replace the CSP? He doesn't leave whether it's the City Strata Premier or the Chase Sapphire Preferred, but I'm going to go with the Chase Sapphire Preferred because he asks, does it replace the Sapphire Preferred as the new $95 crap card, as I have not so politely called it? Craig, your thoughts here?
So I'll say this. I already have plans of moving to a CSP. Crap or not, it gives me the opportunity to transfer points. I've never been a Bilt fan. Let me just say that off the absolute top. However, I could at least say that Bilt was very valuable at a 0 annual fee card, and that it was just a really wonderful niche opportunity for growth and a fantastic opportunity to hop into Bilt, because even if you didn't rent at a certain point, the transfer partners, the ability to earn those cards points was really fantastic. I'm having trouble personally decoupling Bilt 2.0 from the Bilt card, because if you look at it just alone and a card said, hey, we'll give you $25,000 in dining or grocery, why not both? Right? But I could forgive that and say, all right, fine. And we'll give you a 2X on travel. Seems a little low. I'm not sure why you wouldn't just go 3X and 3X and call it a day. But it's the fact that it's coupled alongside Bilt 2.0, and it just feels, I'll just say this. I critiqued Chase for the way that they have rolled out and then backtracked the CSR. I have to do the same with the Bilt 2.0 launch, because for me, I can't decouple the two. I think you can only get the Bilt card with Bilt 2.0. Otherwise, you're having a Wells Fargo autograph. Wonderful card, by the way. But I think for $95, it is a card that I personally could not recommend to people. I think any card has its use cases. So with exception of truly predatory interest rate traps, I won't say the name because I don't know if they'll come for us for legal action. But credit with the fun card game, those are the only cards that are truly crap cards where you aren't getting any benefit except interest or credit line history. And then they charge you $39 a year for that. So that's just crazy. But for Bilt, for me, the Obsidian card, it's an absolute stinker. As my good buddy OG Sledge would say, it's not trash, but it's trash.
That's fair. Real quick, we do have one of our Diamond members, Keith, watching us. He mentions that he's really looking forward to the new Flying Blue card, 1.5x catch-all and 3x dining and Sky Team. And he's going to use it as a new catch-all. And also a mention to the Venture X as a 2x was so interesting to me as a Visa Infinite catch-all. Not sure when he highlighted those, but thank you for watching, Keith. And Lonnie, your thoughts on the Obsidian versus the Sapphire Preferred or Strata Premier, if you so choose.
Not the Strata Premier. We know it's Sapphire Preferred because it's Tariq. And we've talked to him about this 1,000,001 times.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they are no longer the same card. I referred to them as cousins earlier because they basically did the exact same thing. You got the exact same things in and out, except for one was a $0 annual fee and the other one wasn't. The new Bilt 2.0 $95 card is no longer the same card as the current version of the CSP. What you previously got for $0 now costs you $95, and you end up losing something, especially if you choose grocery as your category. Now, yeah, definitely you're losing something. On top of that, I would actually, if I had to choose between the two, I go with the current version of the CSP that's available today versus the Bilt 2.0 Obsidian card, to be completely honest. Plus all the back end work We've talked about the Ritz-Carlton card, and we don't want to do that back in work. We don't even know what this 2.0 is going to be yet, but the way they're talking about what you got to spend, do your math, Bilt, cash it, Shark Tank, I'm out.
Yeah. It's an enigma wrapped in a puzzle, peppered with a decoder ring. I don't know. I lost the train there. No, I don't. I'm not going to say that the Bilt Obsidian card replaces the Sapphire Preferred as the new $95 crop card. Because here, part of the reason why I labeled the Sapphire Preferred the $95 crop card in the past was that there was significant category overlap with the card. The only distinct things that it had separate from its compatriots was online grocery, which we hadn't figured out ways to make that work. There's plenty of ways to make online grocery work and make it work in store. There's some hoops you got to jump through, but if you can successfully navigate them and your local grocer works with it, it's cool. Also, online grocery, Misfits Market would code as 3%. Most food delivery services would code as 3%. Instacart would code as 3%. So like you do get a bunch of interesting options for things, not just going to your local Safeway or Albertsons or Meijer or Kroger or any of the brands owned by any of those conglomerates, anything under the Giant brand. You do get choice, which is cool, but 3X dining, every Chase card has 3X dining. There's no way to do a point transfer, point transfer for less than $95 in the Chase ecosystem. The Chase Ink cash cards the Chase Ink cards, you need the Ink Preferred to transfer at $95. You need the Sapphire Preferred to transfer at $95. The no annual fee Sapphire card doesn't transfer partners. They don't even do reduced transfer partner rates with the Freedom cards. So I've always looked at it as a $95 tax to unlock your transfer partners, and I don't like that. And one of the things that Bilt did and still does is the no annual fee card still gives you access to the transfer partners. For now, I don't think there was anything in the terms and conditions that like change that. So does the Obsidian replace the CSP as the new $95 crop card? I don't necessarily think that it does, but I also don't know how much longer the CSP is going to be $95 card. Like we're all expecting some sort of refresh to happen in the not too distant future with the Sapphire Preferred. So I don't think it's going to be a $95 card that much longer. That being said, Obsidian, I think there's plays where it can work. I think the capped grocery is a bit of a concern, but they have their reasons. They are worried about gift card abuse, so that makes sense. People are going to people because people are people. So does it replace it? I don't know, just because the rest of the ecosystem still allows you to transfer points with no problem. And my biggest gripe with Sapphire Preferred was that there was there was always category overlap with dining and travel, and I was just paying $95 to unlock transfer partners. And that's still going to be the case unless Chase changes their ways there. And we know they're not going to. Even though they should. So yeah, I don't think it replaces it, but I don't think it's a great card. I don't think it's the best card. I think it will work great in tandem when they lift their one card per family rule with cardless, if cardless can ever figure that out. Because you could do the Obsidian and if you could hold the Obsidian and the Palladium at the same time without having to do whatever authorized user workaround, which is a whole other set of stupidity from this launch, that could work. But right now, nobody's really going hard after the Obsidian card. Most signups are going to be Palladium, and then most cancellations after year one, if they don't get the whole downgrade thing figured out, are going to be Palladium. So we'll see what happens. I'm not there yet. I would still rather have a Sapphire Preferred in my wallet than a Bilt Obsidian right now. Now all I need is 3X travel and a Instacart Plus membership. That's all I want. I'll get a Sapphire Preferred if they do those two things. Thanks, Streak. We'll go to our next question from Double Animal Fries, who asks, do you see any changes coming in 2026 that would make you consider changing your partners or banks? Lonnie, I'll throw back to you on this one.
I don't see changes coming. There's always changes I want to have come.
Sure.
But the changes that I want to have come probably will never happen. I think the biggest one would be American Express giving me 1.5 in their Amex travel portal. They don't need to do it. There's no point to do it. They're going to lose more than I would. They're going to lose more and I would gain. But if they did, green card, hey, how are you doing? Come on, join the club. And basically almost every other card that's not Amex in my wallet can go away. If they did 1.5 in the travel portal, even if they decided even to challenge Boost, points boost, that is. Oh, you can get 2.0 if you have all three of our charge cards, green, gold, platinum. Now you get 2.0 in our travel portal. Chase can kick rocks. Chase can pound sand. I wouldn't need them anymore. I wouldn't. I would go all in on Amex. I'd have basically 5 Amex cards. Those 3, my Brilliant and my Aspire. And I'd be just fine. Hunky dory.
What about IHG?
Would you quit changing your cards? That's like the 8th one. But
I don't know what you're talking about,
every
sir.
time I mention the card, you bring it up. But no, I'd be booed up, cuddled up, cuffed up. I'd be hunkered in like Craig in a winter storm.
That was an unnecessary shot. I didn't appreciate it. Hurt my feelings.
You didn't have to change your card again, but you did. So
Again, sir, I don't know what you're talking about.
Is that a platinum you're holding now?
Yes, it is.
No, it's a
Okay.
mirror. It's a mirror.
It's always been a platinum.
It's an Amex mirror.
There's no platinum in bossing.
See any changes coming in 2026 that would make you consider changing your partners or banks?
So oddly enough, I am changing a partner right now, and not from a credit card standpoint, from a standpoint of banking. Nope. SoFi has made some changes recently with their SoFi Plus account, and they are not the most consumer friendly. So I've enjoyed SoFi from the standpoint, and I realize we are a Points and Miles podcast, but follow me here. I have the SoFi bank account, have a SoFi savings account, have just like a taxable brokerage that I use. But now SoFi, similar to Robinhood Gold, is going to charge you $10 a month to the increased interest rates. So that's my savings account. I had thought about opening up a SoFi credit card just purely to have, but that is a no-go now too, because they are charging a fee for essentially a 2x catch-all card. For me, and I bring this up because this is the year of cutting out poor consumer choices, right? If a bank is not making a choice that reflects positively on how I experience them, I'm just not dealing with it. I've been in hotels more this month than I had expected to be in the entire year because, as I've made mention, my wife's in her PhD program. She's doing really well. She just started stats. It's a rough one. We're having a baby in April, right? So I'm not planning on traveling. And thank you. With that said, any bank that's not meeting me where I'm at right now or making it easier for me to just fall back into doesn't need my business. Chase, love Sapphire Lounges, but if I'm only going to Philly twice a year right now because I'm not traveling for work nearly as much anymore, it's odd to think that I've gone like 4.5 months without a work trip. It's weird, but nice. Weird, but nice. I don't need a CSR. Love the card, truly do. I still like getting 4X on flights and hotels. But for me, the big sell point was the lounge. Don't need it. And also, I don't stay at Hyatt's. So it's not like it's an exclusive thing for me. As we continue to see the devaluation of points and miles, further increases and annual fees that don't lend itself to being a good usage of my everyday spend, you're gone. If you're doing a Bilt and you're retracting on some of these consumer friendly policies or consumer friendly dynamics that you have, you're gone. Amex, it is just really hard for me to decouple from them purely because of my grocery spend and because Citi will not give me anything more than a $3,000 limit on my CSP, despite me having spent like that limit 4 times now. Whatever. I buy groceries, y'all, and Citi's probably looking at me and going, "That's exactly why we will not give you that limit. You will not bankrupt AA with these points and miles." But yeah, any place that's not going to be consumer friendly, I just don't have the mental bandwidth for it. 2026 is my year of pruning, and I've already closed 2 cards. So yeah.
No, that definitely makes sense. I don't necessarily foresee any changes that will make me consider changing partners or banks. Wells Fargo just got JetBlue, so that was cool. And I can do JetBlue, I can do United. I've still got options with United. I'm looking to see what the next round of Rove transfer partners are going to be because those are coming. Insert disclosure. I'm intrigued by what might be coming down the pipe. The other thing is when it comes to the points and miles game, for me, the one thing that I try to stay as grounded with as possible is the only points I have that are not worth cashing out at 1 cent per point are my American Express points. And I'm sure I could go through the process. I have a business checking account. I could apply for a business platinum. At bare minimum, I could look into a Charles Schwab version of the card. I could set up an E-Trade account and look into the Morgan Stanley version of the American Express Platinum card if I wanted to cash those points out at 1 cent per point. Worst comes to worst, I can just send those points over to Hyatt. I'm sorry, not Hyatt, Hilton, and just be done with them. Like I've got a stash of just under 100,000 points. Is it like, yes, they're worth less than 1 cent per point in case I ever have the, as I like to call it, the oh shit moment where I need to cash out my points for something else other than travel. But right now, I have 2 other currencies I can do that with and get my guaranteed 1 cent per point. So I don't necessarily see any changes coming with that unless like Wells announced tomorrow, hey, you can't cash out points for 1 cent per point anymore. If they did, that'd be a problem. If Chase were to lose any more transfer partners or any big transfer partners, that could make us reconsider certain things, but they're not losing Hyatt anytime soon. They're not losing IHG anytime soon. They're not losing United anytime soon. Like, I know that the United and Chase relationship is... United's about to do some stuff with Mileage Plus. Like, they just named a new head of Mileage Plus. He's somebody who's used to be in charge of Apple Card or is one of the people tasked with launching Apple Card. They have big plans for Mileage Plus this year, big announcements planned for Mileage Plus this year. What those are going to be, we don't know yet. So we have to see what they end up doing. But they are looking to mimic Delta more and more because Delta gets the money. Like, Delta is its own like the airlines are all banks basically, but like Delta is a bank of a bank.
You also have to give them credit, especially in the status game. You can get status with Delta via their credit card. You do not get status with United via their credit card. Mm-hmm. You can have the black card and be in group 4.
Yeah, and I think some of the things that they're going to look into in the next, like whatever their plan is in credit card, like with their relationship with Chase, because they are looking at Delta as we need to copy this. Chase is going to be hand in hand with that. They're not going to leave Chase and go to Wells Fargo to figure it out. Like they and Chase are going to get something situated.
Yeah, even if United, and this is me saying this, even if they made it easier to get status when you actually spend money on the card, would be great. But when you only get like 1 PQP for every $15 or $20 that you spend, depending on which colored card you have, and white one doesn't count, you know how much money that is trying to get status?
$250,000.
Yeah, let's done the math, but Craig ain't lying.
Actually, I wasn't kidding. It's for the black card, it's $250. For the purple card, it's like $325.
It's over $300,000 in a year to get to the top tier status. He wasn't lying. That's what I didn't even want to bring it up.
Hmm?
Yeah, like you gotta fly if you want their status. But yes, you can spend on the card, but at the same time, you're not just gonna spend on the card. I think they should make it easier. As we were talking about earlier today, I know it's behind the members only wall, but eventually it'll go public, whatever. But how many other cards have that you spend? We talked about this with Bilt. You spend 50, you get platinum, right? Spire, you spend 60K, you get 2 more free night certificates outside of the first one you get for your anniversary or whatnot. You get the companion after 75K on the platinum card, or the small extra trinkets that you get that don't do anything for me, like on a CSR. Not to say they're bad. They just ain't gonna do nothing for me. Southwest ain't gonna do nothing for me. That's what I'm saying. United, at least the blue card, actually the blue and the purple both do this, but the blue card, you spend $10,000, which is probably one of the lowest spin rates on any card out there, period. And then you'll get $100 in United Travel Bank. Now, granted, that's not a great return, but it's easier to hit 10K than it is to hit 250,000. You know what I mean? If United did that and they can stagger it the same way that they do it with the PQP spin, but like the black card, spend X $1,000 within a year, you bought yourself up the status tier, up the status chain. Maybe the purple card, the second from the top, can't get to 1K. You can only get to platinum status on that card, depending on how much you spend. At least it provides an option, like its competitors, like American, like Delta can. Not necessarily spend, but an option to get to status is what I mean.
Lonnie, what about this? What if over the course of this year or into next year, they launch something called, I don't know, PQP Head Start? And for $350 for the purple card, you'll get roughly half the number of PQPs that you need for United Silver, just for paying the annual fee.
So to an extent, they do that ish. So they actually do, and they call it a head start.
Of course they do.
Depending on what status you had in the prior year, you'll get a head start towards status for the next year, and it rolls over in February. So if you actually have status, it doesn't end on January 1st, it ends on January 1st, which is actually pretty good compared to other like status things. But that aside, especially if you're comparing it to silver, so I have 1K, my head start will be, I believe, 1,500. The silver is like 6,000. It's not half, but it's 20, 30% of the way there, 25% of the way there. And then, as we were joking about, all you got to do is fly from New Jersey to New York, and you'll get you'll get silver status. Silver status is not that hard to get with United.
No,
everything else after that.
Yeah, I was just going after the MQD head start that they have on the Platinum and the Reserve, but bring that over to the Explorer, to the Quest and the Club.
Yeah, so I'll just put it like this. United knows what they're doing with their status, and they know how valuable their status is, to the point where once you have it, you don't want to let it go, because you know that you will be treated differently without it. You do not get the same flight experience without it. Hands down, coming from me as someone that's been on their top tier, not the private top tier, but the top public tier, because they have never sent me global service invite, which it's about time, but we're not going to get into that. But the thing is that like I said, once you have that status, you'll never want to let it go, but they make it so flipping hard to get it. The only way, yes, I had just mentioned you can have a welcome offer that provides you PQP. One of the reasons why I got the purple card last year, because they gave me 3,000 PQP. One, the purple card actually, after the refresh, better fit me than the blue card. So now my family and I, we have black and purple instead of 2 blues. But the purple card actually fit better, but they gave me 3,000 PQP in the sign-up bonus. And I'm like, heck yeah. You know how hard it is to get 3,000 PQP that quickly? Very hard, incredibly hard. The only way to really get status is to fly on their product, which once again, we can talk about business. I ain't mad that you give me a reason to use your product, but at the same time, when I get that status from using your product, you treat me like royalty when I'm on there. That's a good transaction. That's a good exchange rate to me. That's a good exchange rate for everyone. And if you haven't had United at least gold status, you'll probably notice something. Platinum status, you'll definitely notice something. 1K, you'll never want to go back. 1K, you'll be at the Willis Tower in Chicago. Let me in, give me my 1K. Don't take it away from me. Don't take it. I don't want to be a normal. Craig, tell me I'm lying though. Tell me
it's true. I'm gonna be honest. The one status that I am prioritizing this year, actually two status, and I hate to say it because there are two companies that do terrible consumer things: AA and Marriott. Why? Say what you will. I know that AA is going to treat me well, and Marriott is going to give me United Silver, which is the bottom of the barrel, but it's still better than loading in Group 7.
Yeah, 1K, like I said, I feel that I'm 1K every time I fly with United. The only times I don't feel it is when I'm sitting next to somebody that's global services. That's the only time. And I'll tell you this, it doesn't happen that often. But when it does, when the pilot comes out and you're like, oh yeah, he about to shake my hand. And then he doesn't, he goes to the person that's sitting across the aisle from you. So thanks for being global services. And you're like, you son of a bitch. How'd you get that? How'd you get that invite?
Dude, I gotta tell you, I've seen 2 concierge keys in the wild, like actual, oh, you fly, not just like a corporate status. And they're dudes that have been like consultants flying since like the 80s. And I was like, have you not wanted to see your family since 85? And the answer is usually no. And I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Global service is where it's at. That's the one time you can buy the middle seat, back of bus, 1 row in front of the bathrooms, and you will be number 1 on the upgrade list. You will be at the top of the upgrade. You will get pushed to the front and board early and have someone in a black suit with a gold tie or a gold scarf, depending on male or female, walk you through the airport. I want my global services.
What car would you have them gallivant you around the airport?
I don't care. I honestly don't. They can put me in the electric buggy if you want. If you want, I don't care. I just want the status because I know what it comes with. I know what I'm missing out on.
Wait a second. You are Mr. Bougie.
I am incredibly Mr. Bougie.
And you're telling us that you don't care? No, you want the Maybach. If they got a Maybach, you'd want them to bring you around in a Maybach.
To drive me across the tarmac? I honestly don't care. Okay. Have you ever been to like IAD, Washington Airport, right?
Yeah.
And you got in the big Jeep trucks. I honestly don't care. Like so the thing is, and I understand what when people are like, oh yeah, I got the Audi or I got the Porsche or whatever. Guess what? You and the driver are the only people that saw it. It does not matter. I just don't want to miss my flight.
Secretly, he actually wants to ride in the G-Wagon.
I'm going to buy my own G-Wagon.
Yeah. Love them. My CEO just bought one, and I go, oh, how'd you do it? Did you lease it? He goes, oh, no, we just paid cash. And I was like, I'm poor.
They make significantly more than you do, Greg.
G-Wagon is literally my dream car, and I knew that I wanted one all the way back in 2000, in undergrad, actually. So this is like 2000. Who was it? So I'll tell you, my first experience with a G-Wagon was with Chauncey from Blackstreet. Yep. The Blackstreet was for rehearsing for their tour at the college that I went to in Virginia, because Teddy Riley and all of them are in Virginia. So every time they came like to our college campus, because we had like the sound stage and all that for them to do the rehearsals with, Chauncey would drive his G-Wagon. First time I ever got in one, first time I really had the experience with one, and I said, I want one. And I started looking them up, and I realized they are literally one of the most expensive SUVs out there, period. I know there's more expensive ones, but literally, and kid you not, I started saving money for a G-Wagon. So that way, one day, I will just do what your boss did. I've been waiting for this moment, and I'll just go get it. And I was almost there. And then my wife told me she was pregnant, and I was like, I can spend $200K on something else right now. Maybe I should get a G-Wagon. But I will get mine.
Hell of a start to a 529 though.
It's just not practical, to be completely honest with my lifestyle. I don't drive too far. It gets 14 miles a gallon. I barely drive 14 miles to get to the office. So I ain't gonna pay all that just to park it in my garage and make it look pretty.
Fair enough.
I actually need some practicality to it.
But you want it.
I'm not gonna say that I don't want it. It's my dream. I will have one. Don't get it twisted. Matt, you know what car I drive now, and it's because I didn't get the G-Wagon.
Yeah, that's true.
And I love my car I have now. Love that. That's my baby.
I drive the car equivalent of my hands look like this so hers can look like this. I still drive my Ford Fusion, and my wife just drives around in a big ass Yukon Denali. And I was like, oh, must be nice.
Totally.
In fairness, I drive a total of like 12 miles a week.
Exactly.
And because I go to daycare, which is quite literally down the street. I walk in the summer, and I go to the store to pick up apples because I am the fruit baron for my child.
Until just recently, until my son graduated out, my daycare was in walking distance. I tell you, I kid you not, no matter what car I have, including the one I have right now, sits in my garage more than I put it on the street. I don't have to go that far. I can walk to the grocery store. Walking home might be a problem, but I could walk to the grocery store.
That's why I don't walk.
Where's RJ when you need her to stop us from going off on a tangent? We did 4 tangents in a row. We went from United status to G-Wagons and grocery stores.
That's what the people pay us for. All right, so let's move on to our next question because we got a couple from Keith, and then we'll get into topics. First question from Keith is, I feel like 2025 was the year of stacking coupons between the crazy Capital One offers, Bilt partnering with Rakuten, Rove coming on the scene, insert Matt's disclaimer, this is the third disclaimer of the episode, I'm done disclaiming, and even SaveWise developing a portal to track and activate all of the offers. What are some stacks that you did in 2025, and should we expect more coupons and offers in 2026 and less welcome offers? Lonnie, you are the king of the stack. What big stacks did you get done last year?
I like to say the point stacking of point stacking. Nothing? No one? All right. Anyway, I don't necessarily see less subs, so I'm going to start there. I don't see the subs going away. That is the carrot on the stick for these cards and banks to get you to hit that apply button. And if you take that away, then what carrot is there for you to hit that apply button? So I don't necessarily see less subs. I can see subs changing. I would really like to, I can even see some subs probably include what Bilt 2.0 is doing. You sign up and you might get some points, but you also might get some status as well. It wouldn't surprise me if Hilton did, here's to surpass, and then did something astronomical like 8K in your first 6 months. But if you hit it, we'll give you diamond for the first year instead of gold. Like, that's not too far-fetched, if you catch what I'm saying. Now, as for some of the stacks, a lot of my stacks are rinse and repeat. They're the same kind of stack. It's just the timing of it that makes it a good stack or not. I.e., my favorite ones, you can use a shop. I'm going to use Rakuten, for example. And then, like, at the same time, I might have an Amex offer that says Adidas. And only because I'm about to return a pair of shoes that didn't work out as running shoes. But like Adidas, you have the Amex offer that gives you +6 MR points per dollar when you shop at Adidas. And then you go on Adidas, and Rakuten also has, it just happens to be a 15 or 20x day. Like that type of thing. You can do the exact same thing. We talked about United Mileage Plus X app, where it might have an inflated offer at one of your favorite stores where it's 10x, 10 miles per dollar. And then you go ahead and throw that in the shopping portal online, and then you'd stack it that way. Chase offers have not usually been great, but over the last quarter have been pretty darn tootin' great. Like, there are actual brands in there that I'm like, hey, I know this company. I shop at this company. I'm subscribed to this company. So even Chase has gotten a little bit better, as well as with their shopping portal. If you do all 7 clicks to get to it, you'll notice that they are actually playing the game as well. I usually use United shopping extension for Chase. If I see it's inflated in United, then it's probably also inflated in Chase. And they've been going almost 1-to-1. Like when you see it like 10x in United, it's been like 10 or 15x where Chase, the shopping portal's beating them out, where it actually makes the juice worth the squeeze about clicking through and signing into your account to even get there. Chase, if you're listening, make it easy. Just allow us to just sign in one single sign on extension. Boom, we're there. You got to make it easier. That's my only gripe with the Chase shopping portal. But like the juice is worth the squeeze. Once you're in there, you probably find some pretty good deals. Any other like big or new type of stacks? No. And I think that's also why we're seeing a lot of the things just rinse and repeat. Lyft now has 5 partners you can choose from if you want to take a Lyft. As we know, Rakuten, you have Rakuten points, you have Rakuten cashback, Amex, now Bilt. So you're starting to see the big ones just have more options, more flexibility, if you will. And I think that's what we're going to start seeing more of, is more of that optionality, if you will, which is good for us because that creates competition. This is one of the reasons why I think the Rakuten portal has always just been on fire. Like, you don't really just always see 2x in Rakuten anymore. 2x is almost like a bad day. Everything's 8, 10, 12, 15 on almost a daily basis now, depending on where you're shopping at. And I think a lot of that's coming from the competition within the portal itself.
No, that definitely works. That can definitely work out. Getting those Rakuten points on top of your Chase points, and if Chase could wise up and make the Chase shopping portal bigger and more accessible.
More easily accessible.
Bigger and more accessible. Need I repeat?
Yeah, look, I'll be really real because yes, I have the Rakuten extension in my Chrome, and I also have the United extension, which both of them automatically pop up. So I get dealer's choice every time I go to a website that I want to shop at. If I see 15 or 20, I'm not going to even go check Chase because I'm like, all right, I'm good. Like, it's not going to be higher than 20. It's not going to be, it's a slim chance. Chase usually caps out about 10. Every so often you might see 15, unless it's 1-800-Flowers. That thing's like 30. That's like the only one though. But outside of 1-800-Flowers, if I got an extension and the pop-up already tells me 10, 15, 20, I don't need to go to Chase. I know my Rakuten is going to go to Amex. I know my United is going to go to United. And I can actually just use my Chase card on either one of those at the same time. But Chase, you got to make it easier if you want to get in the game.
For sure. The other thing, Rakuten has like partnerships with 3,000 plus stores. Top Cashback has relationships with 10,000 stores. Rove, relationships with 13,000 stores. Chase, 1,000. Up your game.
One of those stores is Toomey, though.
Anytime Toomey is mentioned, I have that Family Guy scene that plays in my head of, sir, this is Toomey.
Look, man, if you want to buy something that will literally last until Jesus comes back, it has a TUMI on the tag.
Yes, for sure. No, I will say Rove will also play into the stack as well. I utilized my StubHub credit through Rove. Rove was doing 6.5 times points with StubHub. Did that, used my StubHub credit. What was a $300 purchase went down to $150 out of pocket for me, and I got the full 6.5 times miles through Rove, and I got everything, and I got the credit credited to me on my Sapphire Reserve. I did it again at the beginning of this year with Viagogo. I traded like a little bit from so Viagogo was 4.6 versus StubHub's 6.5, but I also saved 20% going through Viagogo. And the credit hit. So if you have the Sapphire Reserve and you're worried about the StubHub credit, Rakuten works. You can use Viagogo. It also gives you the credit. I think Rakuten also has Viagogo as well as StubHub. I'm sorry, as well as StubHub. If they don't, check out Top Cashback for sure Rove has it, and go through whatever other methods you can go through. Using that with a card that does entertainment, Capital One Saver, Wells Fargo Tune, both of those can get pretty decent stacks on tickets and stuff like that for live entertainment.
Oh, buying hotel points. The points, whatever, points me, whatever that.
Points.com.
Yep. They are partnered with Rakuten right now. It definitely works with Hilton. And they were giving away 6x on buying Hilton points just the other night, just this week.
Okay. Because I've never seen it.
Talked about a little bit of my members only today. But
yes.
Well,
I've typically seen that 1.25. Top Cashback does 2.52, and Rove does 1.6 with most of the vendors there.
Now. But it's one of the reasons why we did it this weekend. Keep going. Craig, your turn.
Yep. Craig, big stacks. The autograph.
So what? I don't know what you're talking about. It never left. So I want to give a special shout out to Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, their card offers are oddly and particularly sneakily good. They will give you discounts on groceries, discounts on theater, on amusement, on just random things. And so you can really stack up a lot of money. And the Wells Fargo is probably my tertiary, if not, you know what? Yeah, I'll say tertiary system. It is the, I don't feel like using Chase or Amex, or in this case now, Citi or Amex. I'll use Wells Fargo because Capital One has lost so much of my faith. But surprisingly, I've saved like $400 with Wells Fargo offers this year. Just really good job. And although they use the same back-end system as Chase and Bank of America, just a far more personalized experience that I really enjoy there. You and Lonnie have really highlighted the pathways to stacks, so I won't go deeply into that, but I will give you some insight into my two favorite stacks of the year. The first was hitting the sub on a Venture X, and that was getting a 45X for making your first order on, what was it, DoorDash. And the DoorDash that I bought was a gaming PC. So I spent
you maxed that sucker.
I spent $3,900 on a 5090 PC build at 2X plus 45X plus a $20 discount for my first order with this card. And I ended up getting like a total of 140,000 points or 150, somewhere around there, Capital One miles. And that was essentially just a whole entire secondary sub on the card, which was better than the first one. So that is my favorite stack of the whole year. Now, granted, Capital One miles aren't my favorite miles, but I can find a use for them. I'll figure it out. My second favorite stack for the entire year was through Rakuten during this holiday. I had no intentions of buying a new TV. I had none at all. However, Rakuten had a 23X for LG, and I ended up buying myself a G5 OLED TV, and it is in my basement. It is my gaming TV. It is my leave me alone, Dad is going to the basement because I'm tired of someone calling me or messing with me TV. It is the hooked up to my Sonos so I can listen to my music while I work TV. It is my everything. If I could make it into a monitor, I would, but I'm not moving my PC. So again, that and the the PC, two favorite stacks of the entire year.
That 45X is diabolical.
I don't know how Capital One affords to do these offers, because 45X for your first DoorDash order, ridiculous, on top of 2X from the Venture X. So we're talking 47X per dollar. Come on.
Here's the thing.
With the CSR, no matter what you buy, counts as dining on DoorDash. So
yep, sure does.
It does.
Don't nerf that, please, Chase. Do not nerf that.
That's why I don't talk about it that frequently.
You might have to edit that out.
Yeah, I might have to.
Yeah, just edit it out and come back in when I'm just like, don't nerf that, Chase.
And Chase is like, wait, what are we nerfing?
Nerf?
And also, Rakuten's not working on Hilton right now, but it's giving me 10X if I want to buy IHG points.
I got
which you might want to.
which ain't bad.
Just saying.
It ain't bad.
my Wells Fargo deals are really spiffy. Card pointers also activates my Wells Fargo deals. So if you have card pointers and you have a Wells Fargo card, activate them all.
I don't really
I've got
stay at ISGs as much anymore since I changed companies, but still ain't bad.
I've got a 7% at Hyatt Places and a 10% off at a Hilton. I'm staying at a Hilton on Thursday night, but I'm burning my $50 credit.
I have those exact same offers.
Not doing the Hilton one because I, as I said, $50 Hilton credit, and I'm doing a loyalty eligible stay through Rove. So
You could have them split the purchase.
I could.
It's not like you're going in there with 4 American Express Delta cards trying to burn $10 Resi credits on a $20
Just
meal.
charge it to your room and then be like, hey, I didn't want to charge this to my room. Can I just pay for it now? And then they'll put a credit on, you'll swipe it, put the credit on your account, and then tomorrow be like, do the same thing.
Wells has to be $100 charge. It has to be at least $100 charge. And if I do the credit, if I just split it, it would only be like an $80 charge on the Wells card, so it wouldn't trigger.
One of my biggest regrets of 2025 is that I missed it was like spend $300, get $60 back at a Hilton, and I missed it by $6.
Oh, that's rough.
Didn't find out until it was too late. I was like, man, I knew I should have ordered that stupid little tub of ice cream in the lobby.
Oh, you can do that, Matt. Put it on the Wells card and then just get something from the like a little cove on your surface.
Yeah. Pull a Dugras and go into the cove and just buy $50 worth of things.
Hey, man,
It works.
It does
Don't
work.
hate on the travel supplies for granted, it's hotel travel supplies, but 50 free bucks is 50 free bucks.
Yeah,
This is true.
it's like when you use like the Edit or FHR or whatever card that will give me like free breakfast because of status, like an Aspire or Brilliant or something like that, and ask, hey, does room service for breakfast count as free breakfast for 2? And if they say yes, then you don't have to go downstairs. And now you can just keep ordering room service and everything gets credited because the breakfast gets credited. And then your dinner that you ordered later is also credited, the $100 dining credit or whatever experience credit, I think is what they call it. Just another way to hack it after you check in.
There we go. Getting back on topic, our next question from Keith asks, what are the odds that the Chase Apple card will earn UR points? And do you see any other possible changes to the card moving from Goldman Sachs to Chase? What are the odds?
Slim. 0.
Slim.
Not going to happen.
Less than 5%. Nope. Less than 3%.
If we know anything about Apple, and I think as Americans, most of us do, Apple don't bend, Apple don't break. Apple gets what they want, and they want their card to give you Apple Cash.
Yeah, there be that.
I don't think they're going to budge on that.
Probably not. Any other possible changes to the card?
Because if they don't, then you can use the card and then go use those rewards. Like a UR point, I can go use for anything else.
Yeah.
Apple's not going to let you walk away that easy. You don't get to break up and just walk away from Apple. That money's coming back in. They are worse than a Vegas casino. That money stays in the house.
Yeah. I was going to say, this tone is very Ike Turner-ish.
Run, Tina. Anyway.
Not touching it.
Yep. Never mind. I said it and I was like, yeah. RJ, edit this one out.
I don't know who's editing tonight's pod. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see too many changes. I think the multipliers, like Apple will want to have the multipliers be what Apple will want the multipliers to be. You will pry the 0% on Apple purchases from their cold dead hands. If Apple isn't keeping that, there's going to be a problem. Beyond that, I don't really care what the 3% multipliers look like. Yes, I want 3% at Apple, but like I can live without it. 2x on Apple Pay purchases, cool. Give me 1.5 on the card, on the physical card. Give me a little something other than flat 1 on the physical card, and I'll be a little bit happier. We'll see what they do with the savings account. I don't see much going on there. I think we all agree that slim to no on
Instant
UR.
Apple Card, correct me if I'm wrong, because I only used it once to get my free $75. It's 3x Apple, 2x something, and 1x everything else. What's the 2x?
Apple Pay.
2x is Apple.
So,
But it's not like a dining category.
no, it's whatever you can use Apple Pay on.
Oh, then then they're going to get a dining category. It's going to pay you in Apple Cash, but if they're working with Chase, they're going to give you that 3%, 3x.
It's standard. You have to.
So Keith, you're going to get 3x dining with Chase.
Hooray!
Can I ask for one thing though? Give me, for Christ's sakes, Space Black or whatever the black version of it is,
Midnight
in an Apple Card. Midnight, yeah, that's what they call it. Or even a Chase Blue. I'd be okay with that too.
They just added Hertz as a 3% category, which
I'm not touching
The
that.
Apple Card did?
Yep.
Cool.
The Apple,
We have an Avis and a national person on here. That was never going to get used.
I got platinum status with 6, and sometimes 6th has some pretty good deals.
They do.
They sometimes you might. Yeah, I'm not a big BMW fan, but you might get a BMW for the same cost as like what Avis considers a luxury car. That is for about the same price.
So Apple's 3% categories. You get 3% daily cash merchants and details. Apple, Ace Hardware, Booking.com, ChargePoint, ExxonMobil, Hertz, Nike, T-Mobile, Uber and Uber Eats, Walgreens, and Dwayne Reed.
And yeah, Nike's always part of Apple.
Yeah. Those are all 3%, and then 2% for using the Apple Pay. Doesn't matter where it is, and then 1% on everything else. Yeah, they're probably going to just slap a dining category on there, and 5% in the Chase Travel Portal. I think that's the other change we can reasonably expect that will happen with an Apple Card going to Chase.
Yeah, those are pretty standard with Chase.
Yeah, Chase may have them curb stomp the Booking.com, but we'll see. Our last question from Keith. Does Capital One portfolio feel stale? The Venture X and the Saver are good cards, but they do not wow most people. They're good earners, but they don't offer great welcome offers or outsized features or benefits. What would you change anything in the Capital One portfolio? And if so, what would you change or improve? This week, they're changing the authorized user benefit on the Venture X. Craig, you have experience. You're the only other person with experience in the Capital One ecosystem.
You can have the whole question, Craig. I ain't got nothing. I don't got skin in this game.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So do I think they're stale? Yeah, absolutely. Do I think that's a bad thing? No. What? Oh, this is the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, which I've been showing you for the entire podcast so far, Matt. We've been here for an hour and 38 minutes.
He only has 4 cards, by the way, because he kept canceling them so far this year. He's just showing you what he got left.
This episode of Stack Your Points is going to be called Rotating Cards now.
I don't know what you're talking about. But no, I think it's stale, and I think that is the beauty of it. We have gotten so hyper complicated with the luxury side, or I can't say it's luxury. The high annual fee side of things, right? Like the CSR has become a mini platinum or a platinum-esque card. Amex has just gone crazy with the fees and with the just total amount of credits. And Citi, they kept it minimal, but again, more than you need to. I think the power of Capital One is that they are simple, right? You can point someone to that direction and say, hey, if you don't want to have multiple cards, you can have 2 cards that work. Or if you only want 1 card, you can have 1 card that works. I just think that the simplicity is their strength. I wish they would bring back the 2 users and not having me pay an authorized user fee of $125 for somebody to use lounge services. Granted, I'm the authorized user on the Venture X, but we have teetered back and forth whether or not to shut that card down, purely just because we aren't traveling. I prefer Chase. If I'm going to waste money on keeping a card open, it's going to be the CSR. I prefer Sapphire lounges to Capital One lounges, and there are more of them. Plus, the card looks cooler, and we all know that's how you should base your card portfolio, based on how cool a card looks. But also, I just don't find much value in the Capital One ecosystem. I have 189,000 Capital One miles sitting right now that I just have not used. And I refuse to take half a cent in credit statement. So those are either going to get split up between Virgin and Avios, because an Avios is an Avios is an Avios. I haven't heard that in a while. Or I will throw it into Aeroplan or JLA, but I don't see a good usage for me. So while for me it's not a great look, I think for the average person or the person getting into credit cards that want simplicity, Capital One is right where they want to be. And also, let's just be fair. Do they need to change? Probably not. They've got enough going on with the Discover acquisition. I just got a new debit card from them, and it is also a Discover debit card. Changes.
Yeah. Yeah, would I change anything in the Capital One portfolio? It's really hard to say, because anytime that they've tried to like make the saver better or make the saver more of a value add, they just end up going back to the no annual fee version. So like it was
Give me back
originally
10x on Uber.
That would be something. But like the original version of the saver card was no annual fee, 4x on dining, 4x on entertainment, 3x on groceries, 1x on everything else for no annual fee. They grandfathered that, then they took that card, copied it, made it the saver card for $95 annual fee. Then there was the Saver One, which was 3 across the board and 1. And then they got rid of the $95 card and got rid of the 4x multipliers, and then renamed Saver One to Saver. And now they're thinking of a higher tier Saver card that would be $295 and comes with $300 in credits. Why? Get away from this. Leave Saver alone. I think there's room for them to come out with a all-around travel focused card that could get you 3x gas, 3x gas travel transit. The autograph, whether that does cashback or miles, it doesn't matter. But I think if there's any place they want to go, they could go, it would be introduce a card that does those things, that focuses on those things. Because Chase getting rid of general 3x travel, like there's a gaping hole in the market for folks who want that 3x travel, who don't want to pay for anything preferred. Maybe Chase satisfies it. Everybody seems to think that the Wells Fargo autograph is the worst card in the world, or that Wells Fargo is the worst thing since, I don't know, gangrene. So nobody's going to touch Wells Fargo with a 15-foot pole, even though the autograph, stupid good card that does gas, travel, and transit. So I think if there's anywhere the Capital One could go, it would be an autograph clone and fill that hole that Chase has left behind. Beyond that, I can't really think of anything else to improve the program. They're going to be slow. They need to be slow and methodical right now and get the Discover. Like, there's going to be pain across the board with the Discover, like integrating Discover. There's going to be redundancies. Redundancies mean that people are going to get laid off. Just nature of the beast, right? After they get through that, they're also going to be expanding the network, and that's going to take some time. After that, then they're going to move the cards over to the network to encourage the network usage. And from there, then they can start ramping up the interchange fees in the network to start setting up a 650, a 795 Venture X that is like far stronger than the Venture X you have today. But that is a 5 to 7 to possibly 10-year commitment. That's not happening anytime soon. So I don't think Capital One needs to do anything. They're stale, but everybody loves Capital One offers. Like the 45X on DoorDash. If that's how they want to burn some money right now, that's probably a better use of their time and a better use of point generation than trying to reinvent the Saver card for the umpteenth time, or trying to get a card that could work in travel or transit as categories that I think they could exploit, especially if they did 4X travel and transit or 4X gas, with how valuable their miles can potentially be. Then the other thing The only other real thing that I think they need to work on is fire whoever negotiates your transfers, your transfer rates. Fire that person and get someone in who can renegotiate to get you 1 and choice 1 to 2 and preferred hotels 1 to 4. I prefer hotels to 1 to 4. Like match City. You can't even match City and Wells Fargo with the transfer rates that you have on JetBlue, Choice, or I Prefer. No. Unacceptable. Return to start. Do not collect $200. Do not pass go. Return to go, but you do not collect $200. I butchered that.
You did.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what it is. All right. But yeah, I wouldn't do significant changes right now. I don't see how it could benefit them. All right. With that, any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Washy.
Yeah, we've turned left many times here.
RJ would be proud.
Yes. As we like to do, we like to highlight our diamond and new members. No new members this week, but our diamond members, as always, are Rupert Pond, RygrexHunter, Mitch528, Keith, Double Animal Fries, Jason YT46. Special shout outs to Keith and Double Animal Fries for checking us out during the live stream. We live stream for diamond members as we record the podcast every Monday night. To join our diamond members in watching us and interacting with us through the live stream, check out StockYourPoints.com. You can become a member there. We shout out all our new members, also StockYourPoints.com. Check us out over there. And Lonnie has a channel, or Craig is working on his channel, and I have a channel as well. And RJ now has 2 minutes, points, and miles. Check us all out. StockYourPoints.com has all the relevant information. Click subscribe. And Craig, what's the final word?
Just great to be back. Truly great to be back on the podcast, in my home, and just supporting my co-hosts. So I'm just having a really great, happy kickoff to the year.
There we go. With that, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Talk to you soon. We will see you on the live on Thursday. And now we're just rotating cards all around.
Mine is a Visa gift card, debit card. It's actually made out of cardboard.
I don't know what you all are talking about. This has always been the case.
Absolutely. We will see you for the live on Thursday, and we will catch you guys.
Drop.
That was sad. That was sad. Anyway, with that, catch you next week, folks.